Welcome to Programming News Daily. For July 22, 2026, we are looking at a significant wave of Microsoft product retirements approaching this October, a new move from GitLab to bring carbon awareness into the DevOps lifecycle, and how Yelp is moving away from fragmented machine learning workflows toward a centralized orchestration system. First, enterprise administrators should be looking toward October 2026 as Microsoft prepares a series of major product retirements that will require significant migration planning. One of the most immediate shifts involves security policy management. On October 1st, Microsoft is set to retire Entra ID sign-in risk policies. For organizations relying on these for their security posture, the transition is not optional. Administrators will need to migrate these workflows to Conditional Access to maintain their security coverage. Beyond identity management, the software lifecycle is seeing several major shifts. Office LTSC 2021 is reaching its end of support, meaning organizations will need to plan a move to either LTSC 2024 or Microsoft 365. We are also seeing the end of an era for the publisher brand, which Microsoft is retiring without a direct replacement for its proprietary file formats. On the infrastructure side, October 13th marks a transition for Windows Server 2022 as it moves from mainstream support into extended support. On that same date, Windows 11 Home and Pro versions will also reach their end of life. For IT teams, this creates a compressed window to ensure long-term stability and security compliance across their fleets. Moving from enterprise infrastructure to the environmental impact of our development tools, GitLab is introducing a way to measure the carbon emissions generated by CI/CD pipelines. The goal is to treat sustainability as a standard engineering metric, much like execution time or compute cost. Instead of trying to measure electricity directly at the server level, which is notoriously difficult in distributed environments, GitLab's approach uses a correlation method. It takes pipeline duration, runner utilization, and total compute resources and maps them against the intensity of the regional energy grid where the work is happening. This allows developers to see the estimated environmental footprint of their code delivery directly in their existing engineering dashboards. This visibility is becoming increasingly relevant as AI-assisted development tools drive higher build frequencies and more automated testing, which can significantly increase total operational footprints. By making this data observable, GitLab is betting that engineers can use it to optimize pipelines. The hope is that by using practices like better caching, parallel execution, and ephemeral infrastructure, teams can simultaneously reduce their cloud costs, speed up their delivery, and lower their carbon footprint all at once. Finally, we look at how teams are managing the increasing complexity of machine learning workflows, specifically looking at a recent overhaul at Yelp. The company has moved away from a system where individual ML teams manage their own custom Spark training scripts, shifting instead to what they call a training orchestrator. Previously, this fragmented approach led to a lot of duplicated code and inconsistent configurations. Because the training jobs were so tightly coupled to specific Spark clusters, developers often faced slow, frustrating iteration cycles. A minor code change might require submitting a full job and waiting for containers to spin up, only to discover a failure minutes later. The new architecture uses a configuration-driven, DA-based execution model. By using pedantic for schema validation, the system can catch parameter mismatches early in the process. This allows developers to run full pipelines locally with sample data, ensuring that when they do submit a job to the cluster, it is highly likely to succeed. This transition effectively moves the complexity of orchestration into a centralized layer, allowing the ML teams to focus on model logic rather than the mechanics of the infrastructure. While it required a significant upfront investment in designing new schemas and migrating old scripts, the result is a system focused on reproducibility and developer velocity. Whether it is managing the end of a product lifecycle or the environmental cost of a build pipeline, the theme across these developments is a push toward more centralized, observable, and standardized infrastructure.